So I just tried to do this previously and nothing recorded. I don't know what's going on with my computers, but I know you can hear it in my voice. We actually just got my 2-year-old got tested positive for COVID. Therefore, me and my husband have it. I'm pretty sure it's what's going on in the house right now, so you'll have to bear with me. Okay, so I did mine on Amoco BP versus the Elite. Excuse me. And I thought they were kind of interesting because I remember growing up, you saw Amoco a lot, and all of a sudden, you didn't hear about them anymore. It's like them and Citgo and Mobile, but actually Mobile and Shell's actually still pretty relevant. But yeah. So decision making and problem solving. Okay, so just a little background history. In 1889, an oil company out of Indiana opened up. It was today's Amoco was actually called Standard Oil Company, and it was rebranded in 1985. But it was owned by a man named John Rockefeller, and he just kind of built the name up from the Midwestern market. And it was established in Amoco. The name itself has been established in over 40 different companies. They do more than just the standard crude oil. They actually do they sell a lot of polymers and fabrics and fibers, medical products, lasers, crude oil, axle grease, harness oil, candles, kerosene, things like that. There's 20 different firms under the Standard Oil Trust Authority back in the day. And in 1892, it was actually liquidated by the Supreme Court in the state of New Jersey. And the good thing about that is actually allowed them to finally have a marketing department. So the capitalization of corporation, it's raised from $500,000 to $1 million divided by $100 in shares. About 54% of Standard Oil Company is owned by a Standard still. So yeah, monopolistic competition. So Amoco, fast forwarding to present day, Amoco saw a rapid decline in sales. When other more progressive stations started to emerge, such as Shell and Racetrack, and they started going under, and they said, well, we got to do something. So they decided to allow a merge to happen with BP in 2017. And BP, a lot of these different, mom and pop stations were like, well, we buy our stuff under the BP name for goods and services and stuff like that to be shipped to us. Is it cool if we keep our Amoco name and use them? They said, hey, you know what, that's fine, go ahead and do that. The only bad thing is the brand had a sale decrease from 10 to 40% after the oil spill had happened in 2010. So they were a little bit apprehensive about letting Amoco do that. Was fine. The aggregate demand or market demand is the total number of units that will be purchased by a group of consumers, given the price, as we know. So the current market share for BP in the last 15 years has shown a rapid decline with high competitors like Racetrack, Quick Trip, Wawa, and the new Buc-ee's that's been popping along. So why? Well, every station manager will be able to tell you how much money it can take to establish or buy a single station. It's obviously too that the rivalry, it's not fair. The market pricing is impacted by the COCO's multi-site managers as well. And then you got Patrol on the other hand. It's kind of like a product, but it's only available at stations with virtually entirely homogeneous type shopping and things like that. But with the with the charts that I'm looking at right now, from 2005 to 2020, there's actually, a high drop rate for people that are going there. I think it has to do with, You know, as I said, they've got those competitors that have more than just, you know, gasoline. You drive up, you know, and you might grab you a drink and a candy bar. Like, that's just not it anymore. People want extra. They want to go somewhere they can rest, they can have an experience, they can look around, stretch their legs, get any kind of flavor coffee they want. If they want a salad, they can have you make it rather than, you know, entrusting to those shady salads that are just kind of like on the thing for grab and go. So elasticity of demand. So there are 5 factors that affect demand elasticity and optimal pricing. It's products with close substitutes, demand for an individual brand, that industry aggregate demand, products with many complements, and demand curves become more elastic, price increases, and demand becomes more elastic. So there actually has been proof that real gasoline costs are rising. They're linked to lower petrol consumption. A commonly used indicator of how responsive gasoline consumption is changes in price that are not caused by demand is price elasticity of gasoline demand. So like, for instance, if you have a score of -1, that means that the gas usage decreases by 1% for every 1% increase in the real price of fuel. However, a score of 0 of elasticity indicates that consumption is not affected by changes in gas prices. So the short-run price elasticity of gasoline demands is currently estimated to be 5 to 25 times larger than it was previously. So why is this something that's always debated? Well, according to Lagos and his authors of the analysis that I was kind of like searching through, they provide evidence that use time series data, you know, to estimate the elasticity of the gasoline demands, and it leads to significant aggregation bias. So I thought that was really interesting. So the conclusion. So why the gasoline consumption effects are so strong. It's pretty intriguing. I mean, it's obvious that the buyers won't decide to switch to more fuel efficient vehicles type thing, you know, right away. So what I mean by that is people are going to find other ways to get around town. I mean, not everyone's, you know, going to switch to that electric car, even though I know eventually that's what, you know, they're all wanting us to do. But they're going to carpool. They're going to take buses. They're going to take their mopeds, their motorcycles, their bicycles if they can, you know, not unless, of course, you live in Western North Carolina. I remember that was like. But yeah, you know, customers might, for instance, you know, they could even drive less frequently at their discretion. According to data from Niddle and Tanaka's study of Japan, drivers actually reduced their mileage by 81% in response to higher gas prices. So if they start cranking up those gas prices, people aren't going to travel as much. Whereas recently I've noticed that, you know, the gas prices here in Florida have been down to $3.33 a gallon. Whereas one of my friends told me up there it's still like $3.60 to $3.90 up there. Ooh, scary. So this leaves the question, can BP and Amoco, I mean, can they keep up with the leading gas station competitors like Wawa and Becky's? Looking back at the analysis, rather than relying on consumers to choose to use their gasoline, just because the name and cost alone, it seems to be customers are looking for an overall experience and services offered. You know, like I said previously, long gone are the days of like, you know, simple stop, grab a single snack and soda and get out of there. I mean, individuals are looking for goods and services as well as overall atmosphere. They want to get out. They want to be in a clean place. Maybe they want their kids to run around. I know I do. Like whenever we stop at Buc-ee's, you know, on our trip, we like to get out, stretch our legs, you know, let the toddler run around, grab what she wants, maybe get a stuffed animal, a t-shirt, you know, get us a sandwich made, drinks, grab some jerky, things like that. You know, in order to make sure that they don't have an overall drop in their value, you know, and things like that, they really need to revisit their overall appearance, their brand and marketing strategy, you know, their social media, you know, their ever-present being in the eye. I think one of the most cleverest things Buc-ee's has done is, you know, they sell their image of Buc-ee's. You know, you see people walking around with the logo on shirts, and you've got a few endorsements out there for like NASCAR. I've actually seen the NFL was talking to Buc-ee's recently about maybe doing something, but then that could interfere with Quick Trip or something. I don't know. It's this whole thing. I don't really keep up with sports. But yes, that is the end of my presentation. Thank you.